Welcome to another AMA with Kadena Project Network. In this episode, we'll be speaking with the team from Kadena Life Sale. This conversation was recorded on November 17th, 2022, live on Twitter Spaces. The views and expressions in this AMA do not represent the views of KPN directly and are not to be considered as financial advice. Please make sure to do your own research on the projects presented. Also make sure to follow our account to be alerted of new uploads. Now let's get started. Enjoy. Welcome everybody to another AMA with Kadena Project Network. Today we are catching up with Kadena Life Sale as they are getting closer and closer to their mint. Lots of stuff going on with them. It's been a while since we talked last. I think the last time we talked was just before they had their Kadena Talks thing that they did on YouTube with all of those great guests. So let's catch up. Let Demian step in here and give us, again, just a quick little introduction about yourself in case people don't know what Kadena Life Sale is all about, and we'll get right into it.
Cool, man. Cool. So yeah, it's been a while since Kadena Talk. We did that in June. And basically, my name is Demian Feldman, and I've been in the Kadena space for about maybe 2 years. And a year and a half was when I started the project, when I started building the NFTs with Miriam. And then actually on Twitter's for about 8 months now. And so we've been just building community. We fully believe in this ecosystem. The more I learned, the more sold out I was. To the point to where we're just, for myself, the way we're seeing this project, we're looking at this as something we're going to sit down. I'm going to sit down with it's my last project of my life. So I'm looking at this in long term. It's like I'm going to build something that I'm going to stick with. And in my past also, in everything I've done, I have 15-year stints in everything I've done, but this is ours. This is my own vision. It's not working for someone else. So we're very excited about what we're doing. We think we're doing everything in the right way for lasting impact. And so that's kind of the short blurb.
Awesome. I've been following along and watching all of the new artwork that you've been coming up with. I know that we did a giveaway where one lucky winner was able to submit a picture of themselves, and their clown turned out absolutely amazing. So let's maybe recap a little bit about what's been going on with the art since we last spoke.
So in terms of the artwork, we have 5 tiers that are going to be, eventually released. And as you can see, tier 2 is very different from tier 1. But in terms of the rules for the NFT, in terms of the fixed items, they're actually interchangeable. Even though we're not going to interchange them, tier 2 will be different. But the idea is to kind of do an evolution of artwork. We're the first tier. It's all original, and it has its look. And then you see tier 2 entering into more of I think what is more perhaps commercial in terms of what people like, in terms of with the superhero themes. And we're just going to kind of go through different steps of what artwork is throughout the tiers with the rules of the NFTs that we set forth. So that's kind of the overall purpose and vision behind the entire collection.
Now, for people who have also been following along like me and seeing the different drawings of people that you've been doing, these one-offs, for example, of like Elon and some of the other Kadena characters, like I believe there's a Ryan Matta and a Nicholas one from Cadex and a few other people. I think we might eventually still maybe submit a photo. I think we're all just being a little camera shy, but what are those? Are there going to be one-offs that people can definitely mint and it'll just be a complete random mint of who's going to get these, or are they sent to specific people, or are they held back? Let's explain a little bit more about those, because they're very unique, very cool, and obviously very special in the entire collection.
Yeah, so number one, I think what rules us First is aesthetics. So basically, they're not going to be one-offs that are going to be sent to individuals. They are actually part of the collection. The head is there. It's random. It can end up anywhere. And also, we did do um, some forced combinations because some of the heads just work better with some of the bodies. But basically, it's a collection. It's a collection true to the heart of what an NFT is. So there's no one-offs, and there's no way we can send individuals what they want, because then that would make it that would take away the fair practices. We have to do the provenance hash, and we can't control how it's minted. So basically, if your head has ended up in our collection, you're gonna have to either mint it by chance or look for it in the secondary market. We did ask everybody for permission, except for Elon Musk. We did not. We didn't ask Elon Musk because we don't have to. He's a public figure, but we did ask everybody for permission to do this.
So that's awesome. So that means that like I could get an Elon Musk head on a different body than what you actually see in the picture that you guys put out, and interchangeable. You could get like Elon's body that he has, like the muscle man body, possibly with like Nicholas's head or something like that, basically.
No. That's okay. So tier one is basically what was with Nicholas's head. Um, we did Ryan Matta there. We did all the OGs. We tried to bring in a lot of OGs in the Kadena community for tier one. But tier two is separate. So you see that the artwork is evolving in tier two. That's going to be another collection of 2,000 NFTs, which can also be interchanged with tier one, but we're not doing that yet. So basically, tier two will be exchangeable with the tier two NFTs. We're not going to mix them with tier one yet. We're going to have a conglomerate of them all.
Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. So these, when you say that you're going to be doing them in tiers, like you said, does that mean you're going to be doing the mints in cycles as well? So tier one will have its set mint, and then you'll be going into tier two, which will have its set mint and dates and times?
Correct. That's right. Now, also, I also want to talk about kind of our process and what happened and what is leading us to build our own NFT marketplace, because it wasn't our plan to do so. And can I talk about that right now? Because I'm really excited about the meetings I had today. I'm really excited about this marketplace that we're building, and I just want to share with people what it is that we're going to build.
For sure, that was going to be my next exact question as well, as why you decided to build your own marketplace and NFT system as opposed to going with like Mintit or Arcade or one of the other marketplaces. So yeah, take it away. I'd love to hear the reasoning behind this for sure.
Okay. So with Arcade, okay, first I would like to start off by saying that I think Arcade, Mintit, Doggy Shield, they've done an incredible job for our community. They're pushing it forward. We highly respect everything they do. So everything I say here, I hope that nobody takes it the wrong way, because it's not my intention to put anyone down. It's just I want to present the facts. And also we have the utmost respect for all these projects. So with Arcade, the reason why what ruined that option, we have an interview in my YouTube channel with Cody, who invited us with Arcade. But then after the Ryan Matta debacle, we really supported the idea of like, okay, let's not accuse anybody of anything, but there are things that are said here that do have value. And by saying that, I think that a lot of people in the Arcade community, um, especially the heads, they got upset at us because they thought that we were taking sides, and that wasn't the case at all. We were just trying to highlight the fact that, a provenance hash is a good idea, and you can look back at our tweets. And so after that, we did apply with Arcade, but they replied with, "Nah, we're not interested in you guys." So we lost Arcade, I think, because of that debacle. And that happened again. But we respect them. We love everything that they're doing, regardless of what they think of us. And then, so Minted was an option, and we were talking to Hypercent as well. Hypercent, it just doesn't think it's the right market to be releasing NFTs right now. And they may be right. I also spoke with Echo from Miners of Kadena, you said, you know what, we're also sitting on our NFTs. It's not a good time to launch. That's the advice we got. But I responded with, we are artists. We are, what we're doing here is not putting investors. There's no investors' money that's being put at risk. We would, so we don't have to have that pressure of making sure we're protecting investors because it's a smart project. So we can do it, and so that's one of the reasonings behind. You know what, we're ready to go. Let's go. And then with Minted, what ended up happening with Minted, we were talking about everything that our plans were because we're talking to somebody in the fine art world to do a curated marketplace, and we were talking to do that with Minted. And basically, they offer 2.5% for when you launch a project. And upon further inquiry, I said, does that mean that they said they were like OpenSea, but in reality they're not because that 2.5% is on the Marmalade standard. What that means is that if a project launches with Minted, they are gonna have to pay that royalty no matter what marketplace they go to. And OpenSea doesn't do that. They're not that far reaching. So we weren't comfortable with that situation, and we asked them, hey, can you give us a break on that? Because we're looking at the longevity of our project, and I'm thinking the work that they're doing isn't worth giving up that much for. It was my own, they have the right to run their business how they want to, but it wasn't. We weren't comfortable with that. That was the first thing. But the second thing, and the most important thing, are key sets. And basically, if you don't know what key sets are, it's like the key. It's like your crypto key to the smart contract. Another thing we asked for, I've been reading Pack, I've been learning a lot about it. Another thing we asked for, and another thing I realized that when you launch a project, if you have the key set, you have the keys to the smart contract. You can change things in the smart contract, like the royalties and the receiving address. So we asked Minted, this more important than the 2.5% was, can we have our own key sets so we can do a multi-signature if we need to update the contract in order to stay in line with Marmalade. And it was complicated for them to do that. It was a lot, they're treating us special in that sense. And at the end, they weren't willing to do that. They're not willing to give us our key set. And for us, that's a huge security. There's too much trust, I think, that is required for our project. We're not willing to just have someone else own our, or be able to change our project. And so we that left us in limbo. We didn't have an option to launch because we didn't think that was good enough for us. And so I was in limbo for a while, continuing to learn Pact and reading until I met this developer who just understands our philosophy, understands what we're trying to do, and he is a rock star. I can't wait to introduce him. I asked him to show up today, but he will eventually. He's working really hard around the clock, and so am I, to launch on Marmalade, and we're going to build our own marketplace, and we're going to do it. We're going to really offer what we think it needs to be offered in the marketplace. For example, we're not going to use Marmalade against. We're not going to use 2.5% and charge that to projects in the Marmalade standard. We're going to charge people 2.5% if they trade within our marketplace, like OpenSea does. First of all, and second of all, the projects that we launch will have their own key sets. We will launch them, but we're going to give them their key sets. It's their crypto, it's their wallet, not your keys, not your crypto. And I think that plus Marmalade, plus I think a more fair approach is going to attract NFTs from everywhere because nothing can compare to the protection that Marmalade gives NFT projects today. It's the best what Marmalade is doing. So that's kind of we're building that by necessity. It wasn't something we were planning on doing or I was actually focused on doing, but I think necessity of our own project and what we wanted and what we felt are the best fair practices. We decided to, well, if it's not out there and it's not being offered, then we're going to do it. And I really feel that that it's going to force other marketplaces to do that in the future. I don't know though. This is just me thinking because I'm thinking we want adoption. We want people to come to Kadena And if we build the most attractive way for projects to come here, they're going to come here. And so we're trying to that's our philosophy. And then the last thing, this is probably the best thing I think that we're doing, and I feel really great about this. And so does the developer, our developer. We're going to do it open source. That means that our marketplace will not belong to us. That means that the community can basically take our code and launch their own marketplace how they see fit and do it better than us if they want to. And we're hoping that that will cause the participation in our own marketplace to perfect it so it belongs to us, to all of us. And that's just at the heart of what crypto was when it started, when the developers were working in that way. And I'm just really excited about being able to do that without taking 1 cent from any investor. So that's what we're doing.
Well, that is definitely quite the explanation, but I definitely understand all your reasonings behind that. And like you said, it's not a talk down on any of these other projects. It's just, the way things are and how you want to move forward your own project. So, it's to each their own. Everyone gets to build their own projects the way they see fit and the way they see that's best for them. So, definitely, like you said, no shame on anyone else for the way they run their project, but you guys just want to do it a little bit differently, and that's totally understandable. And the fact that you're going to be opening up your source code is actually a really good idea as well. But at the same time, I've been in the development of crypto software and stuff now for a few years. And I also know that open source can be a double-edged sword in the sense that people can make copycats of sites, like you've seen where people make copycats of like Pancake Swap and other websites to try to steal people's funds and users' NFTs and stuff. Any thoughts into those kind of concerns?
That is definitely a concern. And we honestly, I haven't put much thought about that. I'm hoping that people will be very careful that they go to the official links. I encourage everybody to really do their research to know to know what crypto is, to protect themselves, to be savvy on security, because that's how you avoid being phished in that sense. But yes, we are open to suggestions and the best way to stay secure so that doesn't happen. Yeah, that is unfortunately one of the worst things about the space is that there's just so many bad actors. So I mean, even in Kadena, again, I don't want to. Yeah, I'm not saying anybody is, but what I'm saying is it's going to happen. It's going to happen. So you need to protect yourself when you come into the space. And I tell everybody, do your own research, learn what it is to be secure before you step into the space. So yeah.
One thing too that I found that so my example of like Pancake Swap's website being cloned and people for nefarious reasons, one thing people should really learn to do is look at the SSL, the security thing. So when you're on a website, you click on the little lock symbol that's next to the website's URL and make sure that the connection ticket that goes along with that is listed to the same company. So that's one way that a lot of people can find a way to make sure they're doing it. And then just doing your due diligence of, like you said, going through the proper links, going through like direct from website links and everything, and just being more secure. But that's one thing with crypto that a lot of people I find that are just getting into crypto have a hard time understanding is the custodial or the non-custodial aspect of it, of having to take your security into your own hands. Like, you see people all the time that say, oh, my Ledger wallet got drained. And it's like, well, how are you storing your recovery phrase or your private keys? And they're like, well, I had it on a picture on my phone or in a note on my desktop or, something like that. And people don't need to stop and like think about the security and how you move forward. And that's one thing we've been seeing too with the bad actors that have been coming out in crypto recently, with funds just disappearing off of exchanges and exchanges being insolvent because they are going out and trading with your money, is that you're seeing a big shift now towards self-custody and people actually taking control of their funds. But like I said, along with control of your funds also becomes control of your security. So how do you see in the future going forward how to keep security like that safe and educate the community? Because I know that part of your second phase after these NFTs is this Kadena kind of university thing of teaching people the things about crypto. So what's your thoughts on that?
Well, I like the idea if we do, if we do the open source, which we are going to the first disclaimer is to do the security statement so that people know, hey, this is open source. Make sure that you're connected to the right place. That I think is a great idea. Um, in terms of we are so young in this space. People don't understand how young we still are. All these things I think will become second nature. A lot of us here learned the hard way, including myself. Um, and so basically, I I can't stress the security part enough. I think that programming language should be just as important as math and science in schools today. I think that's a given, and I'm hoping that we will catch up as a society because right now it is a wild west, and the fact is that most people that enter this space are doing it out of speculation and have no knowledge on the technology, and that's why people are going to get wrecked. Because if you're going to go into crypto, you have to, the whole draw to it, the basis. I don't think projects talk about the ethics and the basics of crypto, the way that people knew about it that attracted people to that space in the first place. And I think that's really really important. We've always pushed that. If you watch all our interviews, we always tell people to learn, to do their own research, and to understand what this is, what you're investing in. Don't just put your money on a ticker. Um, and I think the reason why Kadena, for example, is where it is because people have no idea what it is. Um, Most people don't know the difference between proof of stake and proof of work, and those are the people that are throwing, you know, ridiculous amounts of money at it. So just like when paper money first came out, which was a total scam back in the Renaissance, before the Renaissance, it was a total scam. It was the con taking everybody's gold and jewels for some little piece of paper that an artist drew, and that was the deal. The deal was you give me your gold and you give me your jewels, and here's a little piece of paper. And people saw it that way and go, what a scammer, and under the threat of death. The con said, if you don't do this in China, you're dead. But I'm not sure if he intended this or if he had the vision of what that could be, because it actually did change the economy. It changed everything. And when respectable institutions started to adopt that technology in quotes, the Renaissance occurred. And I think that is really important for in our space until we get these really honest, idealistic actors building things. Until there's that security in place where there's trust, where they're really trying to create a better world. And there are tons of projects like that. Like for example, I really think CADEX is one of those. Um, until that happens, until those institutions kind of separate themselves from the rest, um, we're not going to see the mass adoption. So there needs to happen education and also um, uh, good actors, respectable actors that understand. I always say this. I think people that understand that their name is worth more than all the money they'll ever make. And if people understand that, they will act ethically and um, they will act as a from a win-win position. People love to admire that scene from Wolf of Wall Street when he's sitting there calling the guy trying to take $5,000 from him, and it's a hilarious scene. I think it's a funny scene. You watch it, the way he, like, he's calling the guy and he's reeling him in like a fish, and he's doing the whole thing with his friends, and they're all laughing. But the fact is that yeah, we can laugh at that scene, maybe as entertainment, but don't incorporate that guy. Don't be that guy. And the problem is that people have incorporated that those ethics, and that's one of the reasons why we see so many bad things happening in our space. So basically, right now, I think the cream will rise to the top, and the cream being those people that are just doing it right. And what's great about crypto, one of the positive things is that if you learn and you understand, the more you'll be able to see that you can read these smart contracts. You can know where the money is going. It's already happening. And I love the policing that is happening in our ecosystem. I love the fact that people are looking and saying, "Hey, this moved from here to here. What's going on?" It's like companies now that decide to build on Web3 just can't do whatever they want to do. They're going to have to explain what's going on to their investors, and I think that is unless they're total scam artists. And I think that is that's a very positive thing. It's education. People have to learn um, how to read smart contracts. People have to learn how to code, and it has to be. I think it should be a requirement in school. Like I said, I think from here we have a while. We are very young in this with this technology.
For sure, definitely education is where we need to go when it comes to both crypto adoption and people just learning about security. One thing I feel like they should also teach in classes, I do agree that there should be definitely more computer and like teaching kids basic kind of coding things, because in the future, we're getting more and more into a technological age where that's going to be more and more of the things that people are going to need to do. But one of the things I also feel they need to add for education is a course in money and the history of money and the history of how money was created. Like you said, it pretty much started off with people going to the local banker or the local blacksmith or someone who had like a big safe in their small town, giving them their gold, and the guy giving them a piece of paper saying, you have this much gold. And then people realized that like people that ran businesses and stuff realized that, well, I could just take that piece of paper and then go get the gold, and it would be, sell. I could use that paper like money. And that's where the creation of paper money comes from. But the problem was that those people who were sitting on all this gold realized that people don't come back to claim all their gold. So he starts lending out people's gold and taking in the profits from that, which is where we got fractional reserve banking. So just teaching like the history of money and how money is created and stuff is also going to push more people towards crypto, because they're going to see that, the emperor is wearing no clothes when it comes to our paper money. There's nothing behind it. It's completely reliant on just thin air and, well, now massive amounts of debt. So as we move forward in this space, hopefully crypto will take the turn, but hopefully it'll take the turn towards the decentralized cryptos and not these government controlled CDC things that are just pretty much just fake blockchain versions of the paper money we have now. And then, like you said as well, is that people, you always hear the argument. We were speaking about this with Full Spend Yacht Club the other day about how people use or maybe it was with KD Launch, but use the term of, oh, no, only criminals and people like that use crypto. And it's like, well, yeah, the dumbest criminals in the world probably. I'm like, because they don't realize that crypto is traceable. It's super traceable. You got the guy that stole all that Bitcoin from Silk Road. They just found him and he still had all the Bitcoin because they just tracked it from its one source to the other. So definitely moving forward, we'll see more adoption coming, but like you said, it comes at the education part first. It has to start there, and getting them as a younger age and moving forward, that's the way to go.
What you're saying is so true for myself. Me knowing and understanding some of the history there is what makes me so. It makes me so confident in this technology. If you understand the history, how it came about, what's going wrong today, and what this technology can do in terms of it's basically a superior system of value. Now, in terms of bad actors and drug dealers and et cetera, yes, That's happening in crypto, absolutely. But you know what else is happening in crypto? People that were in Ukraine were able to get out of where we were the first to be able to leave that situation, a terrible situation. People under dictatorships can escape easily because they have a system of value that is completely theirs. So there's a lot of positives, and for me, one of the reasons why I'm a Kadena maximalist. Actually, I don't own any other crypto, is because I see that I see some of the nefarious things that can happen with these systems of value, um, and and I see a future where perhaps a government control regulatory organism is in place, which is not necessarily the best for individual thinking, privacy loving individuals. And Kadena is one of these blockchains that really offers us value and protection from that, from ideologies or from governments. I'm an artist, so I love to think for myself. I love to go against the current. The reason why we're launching now is I just love to go against what everybody is doing, and not because I love to just go against what everybody's doing. It's because I have my own internal clock, the internal drum that I have been trained to listen to. Um, and I think that that type of thinking is really important. But when you have these McDonald's governments where everybody wants you to think the same, or these ideologies or political parties where you have to think the same with the agenda that they provide, it kills that innovation. And I think that people that push the world forward have to be free thinkers, have to be able to make their own mistakes, and have to be able to listen to their own drum. And Kadena offers value, offers a system of value that cannot be touched for that individual that loves that. So even though there's negative in the crypto world, there's also these positives for me that far outweigh the negatives. And not I can't say that about all crypto. I mean, I can say that about Bitcoin, and I can say that about Kadena, and that's it.
There's a few other good, solid, very decentralized projects,
Yeah.
but definitely for sure, Bitcoin, Kadena is very good at. Except we're just now, it's Kadena is pretty much where Ethereum was. I want to say just shortly after the break from Ethereum Classic, kind of, but with its smart contract capabilities in place that were like that kind of early in Kadena. And people are just like, it's great to see now too that the actual team themselves, the Kadena team, have kind of come out of their hibernation, as some people like to say, and is really pushing now and really getting out there, talking to the community, bringing in ideas, and being more vocal about what they're working on and what people would like to see. Now, besides them possibly tying up some loose ends and finalizing more Marmalade features, what would you like to see from the Kadena team to help push forward? Because I know they sometimes listen to these AMAs and word gets around. So if you had a chance to say, hey, these are my favorite things that I want to see finished with this network, what would you say?
Well, obviously, Marmalade finished is great because that means we're not going to have to upgrade our smart contracts later on. But apart from that, I think Kadena. One of the things I love about this ecosystem and the leadership in the ecosystem is the fact that I don't think they're rushing it like Ethereum did and Solana and all these broken systems. They are setting this up correctly, and they're not. I think the marketing hasn't kicked in because the playing field has not been completely set up yet. We have the technology, we have we have Pact, but for example, I think the most important thing is with Pact, for example, as for myself as a beginner, as someone learning it, you really have to just unplug and hyper focus. The documentation is not the best, so Kadena is working. I know that they're working really hard on that, on better documentation, on a better entrance level documentation, especially to be able to allow a lawyer to know how to read a smart contract or the very basics of security of smart contracts. So that I would like to see, but I know that they're doing that, and I think that one of the reasons why they're not pushing the marketing just yet, but they're about to. We're about to, is because they're waiting for those systems to be in place. When Marmalade is finished, we are going to. I mean, it already is, but so because we're going to build 100% of Marmalade, but it's going to blow away everything that is offered in other blockchains. The fact that what it offers for project creators, the security and the security also of the royalties, for example. That's something that can bring every NFT creator. They can look at all the options. They see that the best value is here because of what Marmalade is going to offer is offering. So at the same time, I like the fact that they take it slow. I like the fact that they're doing it right. For me, I'm all about that. I'm all about for when Cadex was waiting. We were waiting for Cadex for a long time. I appreciated that because I don't want that Cadex to get hacked. I want Cadex to run like a like Fort Knox, and I think that they are that is their mindset in the leadership of Kadena. So so when everything is ready to go, we're gonna blow up like a like a rocket ship to Pluto at light speed. And I that's what I see about this ecosystem. That's what I believe about it. And I'm just glad to be here at this stage. It's a great stage to be here.
For sure, they're definitely going with the motto that I use quite often of under promise and over deliver, and don't talk too much about things until you have them pretty much in your hands ready to go, which is also something that we've been trying to work through here with what we do both at KPN and Eucalyptus Labs. And just it's what you build that matters. It's not not the hype you build before it, which is also a nice thing that I've seen, that you guys are very active on Twitter, very active in in your Discord and everything, but at the same time, your growth has been very organic. You're not this huge, like, you don't have a whole bunch of bot followers or anything like that. Everything's been very organic, very slowly grown, which is also kind of how your project has come along. But as you guys are now inching ever closer to your mint, what are your most main concerns? Like you said, your dev is just kind of getting right into it. You've been going hard trying to like get everything set up for Marmalade. I know you said that you were going to go on the 20th, but been pushed to the 27th. Now, is your marketplace going to have any effect on your mint, or is the mint going to probably go on no matter what with marketplace to come afterwards?
So basically, what's great about Marmalade and what's great about, let's say that you do your own mint, is that a lot of the bones and a lot of the bare bones for the marketplace you're actually building. So one of our greatest concerns, I mean, we were not sleeping, and to be able to launch on the 20th, and we realized that we were 95% ready, and we are 95% ready, but we hit some issues. We were misled by another developer and told the wrong things. So basically, we can actually launch on the 20th, like we said, but it would require us to do a lot of clerical work, where you're just sitting there doing it by hand instead of having a more elegant solution. So rather than push it, we decided to do what's best, to do it right. And obviously, my greatest concern is that it'll break, which can happen. God only knows. But I do know that we're not launching the marketplace just yet. We're going to launch the bare bones, where people are going to be able to mint our project with best practices on the Marmalade standard, and that is our goal for the 27th. Now, as far as the marketplace is concerned, we have an incredible artist. We're already drawing plans for the front end. We need to find a great genius front end developer, and I've already talked to some people. But basically, we plan on launching that, and I guess what I'm most proud of from all of this is the fact that we're doing it with pure passion. We haven't asked for a cent from our community. This art project, the tier one, if you do the math, we're going to sell them for 7 KDA. It's not a money grab. It's basically, it's not going to make the money that you need to actually develop. But we're doing it. We're doing it out of our own pockets. We're doing it out of my own investment, because I believe in it, and I'm just really proud and I can't wait to show what we're going to build, because I think that it's going to show the community what people can do with just heart, passion, and a good vision. And so that's kind of the what we're trying to do. We're trying to create this marketplace and show the community, look what we can do if we put our minds together. I think one of the most important things for a team to have success, if they have a semi good idea and there is respect and loyalty between team members, where the artist respects the businessman, the business person respects the developer, because each one has equal value, and that is kind of our philosophy on that. Then I think you are unstoppable. Even if you have a semi good idea, it's going to be very successful, because of having a team that understands and respects each other. For, if we go and hire a developer, boom, that's that can it easily can go. Your budget can just slip away from you. So finding people that believe in each other, I think, is the hardest thing. But if you can find that, and with the right ideals, you're going to be able to do things that are great for the community.
Well, those people are definitely out there. There's lots of really good people I've been finding in the Kadena community that aren't necessarily just trying to get in and like get paid and get out kind of thing, and just want to help projects succeed. So, hopefully one or two of them may step up and be like, hey, let's do, do you need help with a certain contract? Do you need help with this? Because really that's what it all comes down to, is community and everyone helping each other grow. And that's one good thing about Kadena, it seems, is that a lot of the projects are willing to jump out there and help and build along with you. So hopefully, like I said, things will work out. When it comes to where people are going to be able to mint, are you going to have a website for that? Because I noticed, like, as of right now, you guys still don't have like a KadenaLifeSales.com or any website like that. Is it going to be through Discord, through website? How?
Yeah. We do have our website already. It's going to be KadenaUniverse.io, and it's already ours. And so that's going to be the place where we're going to mint. So it's going to be the place where Kadena Universe is art, creativity, education, and the first thing that we're going to do is this marketplace that is going to belong to the community. That's our because we think that if we set up these platforms for to attract, especially other projects, and I didn't mention this, but this morning I have at Kadena Talk, I had this really big guy from the art world join our Kadena Talk, and we've been talking about NFTs. We've been getting together since then, and the guy is world renowned. His father is a world renowned fine artist. He's the son of a very important museum here in Rosario, and he is the ideas that we're coming up with. He's going to be working with us as an advisor to this project. We're going to have a curated part of our marketplace, and that's what really excites me, to bring in to teach artists with with a history, with a career, how to build a collection, and we want them to join, to respect the business, and the business to respect the artist. I truly believe that we are heading into a new renaissance. And one of the things that made the renaissance incredible was that happened, that business supported the arts supported the business. Um, there was a mutual respect there, and I think that I really believe that history repeats itself, and we're trying. That's the vision I have for it. We're trying to, in the curated part, to be able to tell businesses the importance of having a great art. For example, I think a great example is Kadena Mining Club. I don't think they necessarily offer the best value, but their NFTs are just cool and they're badass, and it attracts people just because of the NFT. And that's the power of art. So so I hope that the people in the business world understand the utility of just feeling inspired, and the utility of just feeling being wowed. Um, and also the artist, it doesn't stick their nose up to the fact that you've got to make money for all this to move. You have to create actual value. that people can use to buy beans. You know, so so that's our vision for the curated part of this marketplace.
Awesome. Definitely sounds like you have your plan set in place for what you want your marketplace and project to go and where you want it to lead. And it's just a matter now of hopefully the people stepping up and seeing it for what it's worth. And that, like you said, we are entering a new renaissance, be it another art type of renaissance or even just a technical renaissance, which both can go hand in hand and both work together in unison as long as everyone plays nice and plays together and helps each other, and that's going to be the most important thing. And that's one good thing I will say though about this stuff happening in the market of bad actors coming out and being shown the door is that it's going to be rough going for a while, but in the overall it's a good thing. We need to get rid of these people. We need to make it more about the community as much as people talk bad about crypto communities, especially like crypto Twitter and places like that. There's a lot of really good things and a lot of really amazing people in these communities that are going to be shaping the future. One of the people that I've been following a lot and who has been speaking a lot lately is Eric Voorhees from Shapeshift. He is an excellent speaker on crypto and where we need to go in this space and decentralization and everything, to the point where like they pretty much completely changed how Shapeshift worked, because back in the day Shapeshift was, you know, your regular swap exchange, and he just went, no, that's it, I'm done with this, let's go decentralized, and turned it into a fully decentralized exchange, which is really awesome. And people don't need to really learn the value. And it's like JP Morgan said a couple of days ago about this whole FTX thing, is that, just to paraphrase them, that it was the centralized actors that screwed everything up, not the decentralized protocols. So moving forward, you know, it's going to be, like you said, education is going to be important, security is going to be important, but it's also going to be people working together and people helping each other and just pushing this mass adoption through.
You know, yeah, I can't. What you said is right on the money. Crypto didn't fail; centralization failed, and it's important to remember that. And also, I want to say this last thing. This is not financial advice because I don't actually follow my own advice, but it is financial advice that, you know, everybody hears so that we don't get so crazy. My attitude, my philosophy is, you know, I buy Kadena to sit on it for 10 years. I'm not buying Kadena to play the market. If you're playing the market, I'm sorry, you're probably going through some crazy shit right now. And even still, I get depressed too by seeing the fact that it dropped under $1. But the fact is, I'm here for 10 years, and I know that. You know, stick to what you know. Learn instead of sitting there and looking at the tickers and trying to predict what's going to happen a week from now. For everybody, it would have been better off if they would have just held Bitcoin and forgot about the market. For everybody, they would have won a lot more. So that's my philosophy. That's my financial advice. Put aside what you are comfortable losing, and forget about it, and trust in the technology. Stay on top of what's happening in the technology. I think that is what gives me peace of mind. Marmalade, I'm you know, yeah, Kadena's under $1, whatever. Marmalade has me so fired up because I see what it's gonna do. I see it's not an empty promise. It's in the contract, and and it's exciting to be able to see that. NFT technology. It's very exciting if you just understand what it can do, how it can just improve pretty much every business, every institution, every government, if it's implemented. So you know, that's what I look at, and that gives me peace of mind, and I don't worry about what's going to happen. I'm actually just worried about making sure that what we build, what we're doing, is creating a foundation for decades, not just the quick and easy. And that's the biggest problem. You know, there's a lot of people who are young in the space and they think the quick and easy is the way to go. But the fact is, when you turn 40, that quick and easy can make you so miserable. And nobody teaches that either. Nobody teaches the ethics of what it is to build something slowly, to do it right, and the security and the peace that you get later on from doing things that way. So so yeah, man, education, like you said, crypto didn't fail us. Stick my advice: stick to the fundamentals, stick to the technology, look at that, invest in that, and then finally, um, I like to set it and forget it when it comes to crypto. When you know what Kadena is, so I that keeps me sane, and I don't get so bummed out. Actually, on the contrary, man, we're excited.
Just make sure that when you set it into a wallet that you own the private keys and phrases to yourself. Don't leave it on an exchange. Don't set
Absolutely,
it.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely.
That's the
That's
biggest thing.
yes, absolutely. And it's interesting because with Pack, the same applies, man. Not your key sets, not your project. That's why we said, I'm sorry, but I would rather be in limbo than give somebody the trust. For me, I'm a very idealistic person, but when somebody says trust me, the red flags go way up. and so if you are building, learn about security. That's the first thing I learned about Impact. And at first I wasn't even sure if what I was saying was correct. I'm like, wait a minute, if can the receiving wallet be changed? And I'm seeing that it can, and I'm being told that it can't. That's unchanged. And I think that was just misinformation. It wasn't malicious. But basically, I went to Kadena, asked them, hey, can we can am I understanding this correctly? And they're like, yeah, you're understanding that correctly. And of course, then we learned also we got the right information from everybody. So it's not like anybody was being a bad actor. I think it was just misinformation. But my point is that I realized that wow, we can do it better. We can do it better for the projects as well, and I think that's going to attract um, projects from everywhere, legitimate projects, not just money grabs. Projects that have depth. When you invest in an NFT project, make sure that the project has depth. Who are they? What have they done? What is their history? Um, what are they about? What is their philosophy? All those questions. Like I invest in very few things because I like to know that there is depth. So so that's what gives me peace of mind in investing. That's just what I do. It's not necessarily the right thing because we've all seen what meme coins can do as well. So I'm not telling you. I'm just telling you what gives me peace.
For sure, for sure. If anyone listening has any questions that they feel like they want to step up and ask, feel free to send in a request to speak, and we can get you up here to ask your questions. But I want to thank you for coming back and catching up with us. I know that, like I said, you guys have been super hard and busy working and getting everything all set up. And I'm really excited to see that you're getting even closer to that date. And hopefully, like you said, you can get everything all built up on yourself. And the marketplace sounds amazing. All the ideas that you guys are pushing forward and the reasonings behind them are 100% solid, and definitely things that people should consider when they look into both buying and selling NFTs and also launching projects of their own. So very awesome that you were able to come and let everyone know your reasoning and what you guys are building. And hopefully on the 27th, you'll be going live and people can get their hands on these amazing clowns.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate it, man. I really appreciate you as well for giving us the space. And also, I wanted to say that what I also think for us, the value, what's more important than how much the project is worth, is the community. You guys, we're the few here, and I cannot tell you how important the community is. I see the community as worth more than any of the money we'll ever make. And so for me, that's where the full value is. And I just wanted to also appreciate. I see a lot of names here that have just been with us, cranking, retweeting, liking, and just supporting everything we do. And I just can't tell you how much I appreciate you guys.
Awesome. Well, you're always welcome here. If you guys ever need anything from us, do not hesitate to reach out. We will definitely be willing to help in any way that we can. And thank you everyone else as well for tuning in and listening. Very awesome AMA today. Very awesome to catch up with Damien and everyone at Kadena Life Sales. And hopefully we can get you guys back maybe in the start of the new year to catch up and see how things how things went with the mint and how you've been progressing from there.
Absolutely, man. You'll know it. You'll see it. So we're excited, man. We're excited, and we are. And again, we feel very free because we don't have this investor pressure that we've got to you know what I mean, meet our investors' expectations, because we haven't asked for that. So we feel very comfortable and I feel also very blessed to be able to do this, because I had the land that I could sell that allows me to do this. Our developer has his mining operation and he's able to do this. So I'm just extremely grateful that I have this. The universe has given me this opportunity, and so yeah, man. You will see. I can't wait to show what we do. So yeah.
Awesome. We are all looking forward to it for sure. So thank you very much, everyone, for coming and listening. And definitely check out Kadena Life Sale, check out their Twitter, join their Discord, join in with the community. And hopefully in the near future, you guys will all be having a good laugh with these clowns and building something very special. So thank you very much, everyone, for coming out, and have a good evening.
That wraps up another amazing AMA. Thank you for listening. Here at KPN, we strive to bring an open platform for projects being built on Kadena to present themselves to the community. Please ensure to do your own research on each project before investing. Also ensure to follow us on all our social media, from Twitter to subscribing to our weekly newsletter, to ensure to keep up to date on everything KDA related. You can find all the links in the description below. Take care.